So last year on paper, I guess I'd be considered top 1% earner in the United States. I wanted to have a conversation today of what sets, I guess, high achievers, high earners apart from people that aren't. So you can tell I'm pretty tired today. I'm really tired, honestly. It's just one of those days. Woke up, things aren't going as planned, to put it bluntly. I've got a portfolio under contract right now with a out-of-state buyer. It was 32 units, then it dropped down to 29 units. Long story short, it wasn't conveyed truthfully from the start on like the condition of the properties, and it's been a real headache. It's taken up a lot of time. I feel for my clients in this case because we're under contract, and we've been under contract since, I don't know, May or something. Maybe even right before that, we've been working the deal. But we're still pressing on, Woke up feeling tired. It's kind of like a rainy day, even though it's not rainy outside. And we're gonna get it done today. I typically work 12-hour days from about 6:30 to 6:30, 5 days a week. And then Saturday, Sunday I learn. And then I hang out with family, with an emphasis on family. And so, over the last few years, if you've been watching my videos, between the team that I built and myself, sold $85 million in real estate. Need some gas. Bought and sold over $10 million in real estate. Currently have a portfolio of about $8 million. So how did I get here is what I ask myself a lot. I think it comes down to persistence, is like being crazy enough to just keep pressing on every day. And I see this a lot, definitely like younger guys or younger folks. They start making good money, maybe 10K a month, 20K a month, and they start easing up a little bit. And that's why a lot of times there's a lot more grit with younger dudes, younger gals, whatever it is, because they've got something to prove for themselves, and they have that like excitement to go and, you make that first 10K or first 20K or first 50K. But on the flip side of that, I think that there's, especially in sales and just entrepreneurs in general, they get a little comfortable. And let's say, you're a realtor. I tell my team this a lot, and you go and you slam a 10K month, and then you ease up a little bit. It's like, oh, I've got 10K on the books for next month. I'm just gonna ease up. I'm not gonna call as much. I'm not gonna continue making offers if you're an investor. I've got 3 deals in the pipeline, and it costs you. It's a lag effect because you don't see it immediately. You see it 30 days from now. And I think that's what separates a lot of the high earners and a lot of the achievers in life versus kind of being an average person, is the high earners and high achievers don't let up when they've got 10K in the pipeline or 50K in the pipeline or 100K in the pipeline. There's a lot of people in my position now that if you looked at my cash reserves and you looked at my portfolio, which I'm going to do a video breaking down my portfolio very soon so you guys can see what that looks like as well. Just making sure that I've got everything in place to record that. But if you look at that, a lot of people would say, I'll just go take the year off, or I'll take 6 months off, or I'll take, whatever that is. But I'm intrinsically motivated. I'm not doing this for a bigger house. I mean, hear me out here. I am doing it for what I can get in the future, which is freedom. I mean, that's the main thing I'm going after. Freedom for myself, freedom for my family, and then making an impact. I love what I'm doing. Every day's a little different. Today's kind of a shit show. Feels like a shit show. Everything about it's a shit show. But we're gonna keep pressing on. But beyond that, some people just want a nicer car, or they want a bigger house, and then what happens when you hit that? Those people that aren't intrinsically motivated and they're just extrinsically motivated, which most people, you're gonna have both. Everybody wants a nicer house, a nicer car, whatever that is. But if you're just going after that extrinsic validation, or maybe to show to your family, or show to others, look how much money I make, or look at what I can buy, that will wear off over time. And I've seen it happen to people, and they ease up and they stop working as much and they just get comfortable. Here's the cool thing about that is there's nothing wrong with it, and for some people, that's what they want. That's where they're going in life. For me, I've got pretty big aspirations to do other stuff than that. But, this video, if you're watching this video, you probably are wondering how to be a high achiever, high earner, whatever that looks like. Be the 1%, I'm not going to say I'm the best. My team is number 12 here in the Oklahoma City Metro, so I'm not the best, but we are 1%, or top half a percent, whatever that is. I don't know where I stand on buying and selling real estate. There's a ton of bigger dogs in the Metro, but I feel comfortable with what I bought this year. So that's why I want to talk about this, especially since I'm kind of in a mood today. It's just one of those days. I don't want to finish working, and so I'm going to tell you guys what I do when I get in these moods. And what I've learned to do over the last couple years, and I feel like it's a good time to do it because today is one of those days for me. You see, I don't have my project manager recording me, it's just me. So here's where I'm at. Got up early, I woke up tired, which is never good. I went to bed on time, so I don't know if I just didn't sleep good or whatever it is. So I didn't eat, which is like rule number one. You got to eat, got to drink, got to hit your morning routine, and typically I do, but I had to be out of the house early, so I haven't ate or drank anything today. It's noon now, and I'm feeling pretty low. So I'm gonna do a high protein, high fiber lunch. For me, lunch is really important. For the longest time, I would only order off of the dollar menu. I've now stepped it up in life. I can get whatever lunch that I want, and that's something that I enjoy and I treat myself to, because I found if I order junk food, or fast food, that I don't perform as well. And the amount of money that I make right now is proportionally or correlated with the type of decisions that I make and the quality of decisions that I make. And so I'm gonna have kava today. That's what I've decided on. That or flour child kava is gonna be the move. But anyways, I'm gonna grab lunch, and then I'm gonna give myself 20 minutes to nap in my truck, and I'm gonna get back after it, and we're gonna go get the day done. I've got other stuff that I've gotta do today. But I used to just try and push through, and it just doesn't work for me. I can go and I can work. Like, that's not an issue. But the problem is I can't work with the intention that I want. And so I need to work and be able to make those decisions and be able to be sharp, because the people I'm competing against are also sharp. And so, anyways, I'm going to take that nap, and I'm gonna wake back up, and I'm gonna go after it. And the main reason there is it's kind of like, if you guys have ever heard the parable, and I tell this one a lot, I really like this parable. Two guys go out to chop a tree down. They both have dull axes. One guy takes an hour and sharpens his axe, and the other guy starts chopping immediately. The guy that starts chopping immediately takes a day, and the guy that starts sharpening his axe, he takes half a day to cut it down, because he spent that time in the beginning. And so that's what I think. I wouldn't used to give myself that time to take a quick power nap, but it's almost like I'm sharpening my axe here to go and make better quality decisions and work more purposefully throughout the day. And so that's typically what I'll do. I'll throw on a YouTube video, or I'll just listen to music as I nap. I never fully fall asleep, but it's enough to rest my eyes to go out and keep going. So persistence is the big one. I think you've got to be passionate about what you do. I'm super passionate about real estate. There are days that suck, and there are days that are really good for me. And some days you have deals fall through that cost you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And other days you have deals that happen that you're going to make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And that's what I love about real estate, is it's an absolute shit show. It is different every day, and I get to create my outcome. The decisions that I make directly correlate with the amount of money that I make. It's not like I'm going and having somebody to tell me, this is what you need to do today, and this is how much money you're going to make. If I lose money, it's because of decisions I made. If my team messes up, it's because of decisions I made, or because of decisions I didn't make in order to prevent that. And so, anyways, just quick spiel today. You know, I'm not going to go on and on. You got to be passionate. You've got to be on purpose with what you do, and you've got to be persistent. I tell this story a lot as well, where I like to fish. You guys know I'm always in my fishing shirts. I fished the same hole next to my house for a year and a half. I've caught 2 fish out of there, and pretty consistently I fished that hole. But for me, I knew that if I fished that hole for a long enough time horizon, I'm going to catch fish. It's a river, and I know there's fish in the river, and so for me, it's like, it's not a matter of if I'll catch fish, it's when I'll catch fish. And I think about business in the same way. It's not a matter of if I'll make 10 million, it's when I make 10 million. Or if I'll buy 10 million in real estate, it's a matter of when I buy 10 million in real estate. And so on and so forth. So hopefully that makes sense. So I have a lot of conviction behind, like, I truly believe that I can do what I want to do and get out there and do it. It's just a matter of how much time it will take. That's why I started posting on YouTube too. I didn't expect to get, you know, we just hit 10,000 subscribers. Really appreciate you guys. I didn't expect to get 10,000 in 45 days or whatever it's been. I expected it to take years. But for me, I was just going to start doing it because I knew that if I went after it for a long enough time horizon, something Hormozy talks about, that it'd be impossible to fail, you know, or it'd be very, very hard to fail. So if you're having a bad day, just remember it gets better. You know, gratitude goes a long way. I know a lot of people talk about gratitude, but like, it's hard to be grateful if you've never had a perspective of where other people come from. You know, I personally get to see perspectives every day of how people live, how kids live, and the opportunities that are or aren't presented to certain people. And I truly believe if you live in a first world country, you know, United States or Canada, that you're ahead of 99% of people in this world. And something that I like to think about a lot is, and I have weird perspectives, but my animals, and this is just a fact, my animals live better than millions of people in this world. You know, unfortunately, there's still millions of people without water. There's millions without electricity. There's millions without heat and air. And so even my cats and my dogs get to enjoy that luxury, and we forget about the simple things, you know. And so it's hard to think that through until you truly see like what's going on. And a lot of times we don't get to see that perspective, and so we just miss out on that, you know. But I find whenever I get in a bad mood, or whenever I start to feel sorry for myself, which thankfully doesn't happen often, but every once in a while I'll start to feel like I'm just having a real shitty day, I'll remember that I'm grateful just to be able to live, number one, live in this world, live in the United States, and be able to get out there and do what I want and make an impact for myself and my family, you know. And so if you live in the United States or you live in Canada, you have an opportunity to go do it for yourself as well. I didn't come from nothing. I had people that helped me along the way, and that made a difference. I've learned a lot from other people who I don't want to be or what I don't want to do in life. And my biggest thing is I don't want to look back when I'm 80 and regret not giving more effort when I was younger, or not giving more time to my family when I was younger, to my little brother, to my wife, to my friends, the people close to me. And so that's what keeps me going, you know, whenever I feel like I'm in a real shitty mood like I am today. But I'm just grateful to be able to get out there and go look at some real estate. So I'm about to go grab lunch. I'm going to eat it, take my nap, and I'll catch you guys later. Hope that adds value. If you guys can, drop me a like, subscribe, whatever helps out. Tell me if you guys think differently or have different perspectives about what I've talked about. And once again, just appreciate you guys watching. See ya.